What if I told you the world's most valuable company is trapped in a web most people never see? Apple, the tech giant, depends on a single company for its very survival: Foxconn. Terry Gou's Foxconn employs more than 1.2 million workers and produces half of the world's electronics, quietly shaping the fate of global technology behind the scenes. How did a little-known manufacturer gain this much power over Apple? And why is it so hard for Apple to break free, even if it wanted to? To understand the roots of this invisible control, we have to go back to where it all began. In 1974, Terry Gou was 24 and working in a small shed in Taipei, and saved $7,500 to start Hun High Precision, later known as Foxconn. In the beginning, Gou and a team of 10 made plastic knobs and parts for TVs. The product was simple, but Gou wanted much more. He believed electronics would be important soon and wanted his company to lead. Gou learned the value of hard work from his parents, who left China after the war and took any job they could find. This made Gou determined to succeed. He didn't want the business to just survive, he wanted it to grow. Gou often went out to look for new orders, sometimes showing up at companies without an invitation to pitch his ideas. In 1980, Foxconn got a contract to make joysticks for Atari games.
Cannonball, can't miss. And for the first time, Space Invaders. They're ready.
Let the games begin! No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
This changed everything. The deal gave Foxconn respect in the electronics market and helped the company grow during the 1980s boom. Gou knew that just adding staff or machines wouldn't be enough. To stand out, Foxconn had to control more of what it made. Gou made sure Foxconn handled much of the production process itself. This approach helped Foxconn keep costs down and quality high, and react fast to changes. As Foxconn grew, Gou saw that relying on short contracts and Taiwan market would limit the company. Taiwan was small, and Gou had a bigger goal. He wanted Foxconn to be the main maker of electronics worldwide. The growing global demand for electronics gave him a chance, but only if he could keep prices low and grow fast. Gou didn't slow down after early success. He knew Taiwan could only take Foxconn so far. So the next step, he needed a new location with cheaper labor, space to expand, and room for growth. Gou focused on China, where economic changes made it possible to invest and build larger factories. In 1988, Terry Gou opened Foxconn's first factory outside Taiwan, choosing Shenzhen, China. At that time, Shenzhen was not a large city. It was a new special economic zone set up to attract foreign companies with low taxes, cheap loans, and fewer rules. China's leaders wanted to turn the country into a center for manufacturing. For Gou, these offers made it possible to grow Foxconn much faster and cheaper. Business in China during the late 1980s wasn't simple. Government incentives were good, but the rules were often unclear and could change. Infrastructure needed work. Even so, Foxconn's move came at the right time. Local officials worked hard to bring in new foreign businesses. In Shenzhen, Gou secured special tax rates and help with land and buildings. This allowed the company to grow quickly. Shenzhen's location next to Hong Kong helped too. Foxconn could ship in raw materials and send out products easily. The special economic zone rules allowed more flexibility with hiring and pay, making it easier to build up a large workforce. Production could expand much faster than in Taiwan. What made Foxconn different was Gou's idea for factory life. He didn't just build production lines, he built a full community for workers with housing, cafeterias, clinics, and even farms for food. Keeping everything inside the factory meant lower costs and tighter control. Foxconn could quickly add workers and ramp up output to meet orders. This way of working let Foxconn grow fast, but also led to criticism about worker conditions and control. Foxconn's expansion matched a wave of migrant workers moving from China's countryside to its cities. Many young people came to Shenzhen looking for jobs. Foxconn hired thousands, offering pay that was low internationally, but important for workers and their families. The Shenzhen factories soon became key for Foxconn. The site kept growing, and Foxconn's ability to make electronics at scale surpassed most competitors. The Shenzhen model became the basis for more Foxconn sites across China. Its ability to handle big orders made it the first choice for many companies, hoping to grow quickly and keep quality high. Foxconn's list of partners increased. In 2001, Foxconn formed a partnership that would reshape the global tech industry and begin a new era. 2001, Apple and Foxconn started working together, changing the way tech products are made worldwide. At the time, Apple wanted to turn its design into mass-produced devices, but needed a partner who could meet its strict demands. Foxconn, with its large Shenzhen operations and control over the whole production process, was the answer. At first, Foxconn made motherboards for Apple computers, but its speed and efficiency soon matched Apple's bigger plans. Foxconn managed every part of manufacturing, from getting parts to final assembly. This let Apple hand over detailed designs and trust Foxconn to manage them. Apple didn't have to deal with many suppliers, saving time and money. For Apple, this meant secrecy and high quality were possible. This partnership became even more important in 2007, when Apple launched the iPhone. Apple needed millions of phones for a global release, and Foxconn's factories could ramp up production quickly. The Jinzhou plant, often called iPhone City, became central, able to make up to 500,000 phones a day. Foxconn also paid close attention to quality. Apple devices had to work well out of the box, and Foxconn's strict standards helped make sure they did. Workers followed clear steps, and defects were caught early. Even with more devices made, the number of faulty products stayed low. If demand for Apple products rose, Foxconn could quickly adjust, adding shifts and moving workers as needed. This speed let Apple get new products into stores worldwide, soon after they were announced. Foxconn's plants in China were close to many suppliers, keeping shipping costs and delays low. Foxconn made sure devices moved from design to store shelves without problems. The arrangement benefited both companies. Apple got reliable production and scale, and Foxconn gained a major client. But this led to a new dependency. Apple's launches and growth now relied on Foxconn's ability to deliver. Without Foxconn's scale and efficiency, finding another partner would be hard. Foxconn had experienced periods when pressure escalated into crisis, most notably in 2010 when a series of worker suicides at the Shenzhen factories drew global attention. That year, 18 suicide attempts and 14 deaths were reported, mostly among young workers living in crowded factory dorms. Reports pointed to long hours, low pay, and strict management. Some observers described the factories as labor camps, where meeting targets were more important than worker well-being. Foxconn's first response made things worse. For 2 months, the company stayed silent, letting rumors and negative news spread. When Foxconn did comment, it denied responsibility and called the suicides a wider social issue. Terry Gou also suggested he wouldn't face blame if the factories were in Taiwan, which many saw as dismissive. Facing pressure, Foxconn took several steps. Safety nets were placed around dorms, help hotlines were set up, and wages were raised by 9%. But production quotas were also increased by 25%, making work even harder. Foxconn invited the media to tour the factories and highlighted new programs. Still, many believed the changes were only surface level. Workers had little power to negotiate or seek better conditions. The suicide crisis also affected Apple, Foxconn's main client. Apple faced questions about whether its fast product launches and strict demands added stress for Foxconn's workers. It became clear that the speed and efficiency behind Apple's devices came with real risks for the people making them. Foxconn's problems didn't stop in China. In 2018, the company announced plans to build a $10 billion factory in Wisconsin and create thousands of jobs. The project received strong support from the US government, but it failed to deliver. The investment was cut to $672 million. Only 281 people were hired by the end of 2019, and many lost their jobs soon after. The project ended quietly, with empty buildings left behind, and disappointment in the community. While his direct approach helped Foxconn grow, it caused problems when the situation needed understanding and responsibility. From these challenges, it's clear that Foxconn's future relies on more than large-scale production. To keep its places and grow, the company must adapt and solve the deeper problems made clear by its past. Foxconn's next phase is focused on a new direction called its 3+3 strategy. The company wants to move beyond making electronics for other firms. Its goal is to be a leader in AI-driven technology. This plan centers on three main areas: smart manufacturing, electric vehicles, and smart cities. These are supported by three key technologies: artificial intelligence, new communications, and semiconductors. Foxconn is investing in automation, robotics, and digital tools to change its factories. The company wants to run lights-out factories managed by AI without people on the floor. It's using platforms like NVIDIA's Omniverse to improve factory efficiency and shorten development time. Foxconn has already automated 60,000 jobs at one site and targets 30% automation across its Chinese plants. This responds to shrinking labor and rising costs in China, as well as the need for greater efficiency. Foxconn is building modular EV platforms that car brands can customize, similar to how it builds electronics for global customers. This approach helps car makers launch new vehicles quickly with less investment. Foxconn has partnered with Mitsubishi Motors and is close to a second deal with another Japanese automaker. The company also plans to enter the US EV market by 2025. Foxconn is using its strength in large-scale manufacturing to enter this growing market. For smart cities, Foxconn is using its experience in electronics and communications. It's developing solutions for cities' infrastructure, like energy, transport, and data services. The Kaohsiung AI Data Center is one example, giving Foxconn the computing power needed for these city projects. Securing the supply chain, especially in semiconductors, is another goal. The global chip shortage showed the risk of depending on outside suppliers. Foxconn is investing in chip design and production, such as a joint project in India with HCL Group to build a chip plant by 2027. This helps Foxconn control its own supply for AI and EV plans, and reduces reliance on China. To lower its risk, Foxconn is also expanding production in India, Vietnam, and Mexico. Each country will focus on different products: iPhones, components, or AI servers, so no single site will be critical. This approach spreads risk and makes the supply chain more flexible. Foxconn's future success will depend on how it manages this big shift. While these changes come with challenges, the company is using its experience to get ready for new competitors.